guys, Lilo here of HeadBangers Lifestyle. Welcome. I have here American guitarist Joel Hoekstra. You might know him from Night Ranger, from Whitesnake, Siberian Orchestra, and you did tons of projects and whatsoever. Welcome, first of all.
Thank you.
We're going to present you the famous HeadBangers Lifestyle Black Box.
Okay.
Very exciting, you think?
Yeah. Yes, I'm intrigued. Yes.
Well, you can open it.
Okay.
Just grab and share your thoughts with us.
Item number one.
Item number one.
Poison. Look what the cat dragged in.
Wow. Well, first of all, you're on tour, on like an acoustic tour here in Europe, together with Brandon Gibbs.
Yes.
He did some live shows with Poison, so this is why it's related. Well, it's excitement. It's exciting. Tell us about this, mini tour. Why are you doing this? What's the idea?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's just something that started out for fun with Brandon and I don't think we really ever anticipated doing things like we're doing right now, taking it international. We just started doing some dates in the States and in the US, and more people started to show up, and then we were asked to do a tour of the UK, which we did earlier this year, and then we were asked to do this European tour. So it's all just like a pleasant surprise. I don't think either one of us really had grand designs on taking this around the world. It's just started for fun. We get along. He's a great guy. He's a very talented vocalist and guitarist, and all of a sudden here we are. Traveling around the world.
Playing all these classic tracks, kind of on acoustic guitar.
We play some Poison because of Brandon's affiliation with the band that you mentioned, and we play some Whitesnake, obviously, because of my, being in Whitesnake. And we play our own music. I play some of my Joel Hoekstra's 13 music. We play some of Brandon's music, and we even play some just, cover here or there that we like, and we each do a guitar solo, and it's just a fun show.
And you're also singing. You're comfortable with that in this setting?
I sing leads like on one song in this, which is something that people don't ever hear me do, and also just even really speaking between songs is something that I don't do really in any of the bands that I've been a part of. Obviously David Coverdale's speaking between songs with Whitesnake, so it's just kind of interesting that the fans get to hear you talk a little bit sometimes even as well.
Gives probably a new dimension to your career as a musician, I guess.
I mean, that as well as, I think that the main thing with this that I find is that you can play for huge audiences with Siberian Orchestra or with Whitesnake, and maybe a percentage of those people, very small percentage, will actively follow what it is you're doing all the time, and those are the people that tend to turn up at these shows. And so it's nice to be able to be face to face, and we shake hands with everybody and take pictures with everybody at these shows, and so that's a nice feeling, and that way you sort of reward the people that care the most.
Good. All right, well, let's continue.
Okay.
Just
pass that to you. All right.
Well,
and I think I pulled out more than one. I'm very sorry. I didn't reveal. Okay, so we've got Whitesnake Love Hunter.
Whitesnake,
Very sexy cover.
Indeed. Must have been an impact on your life, joining Whitesnake.
Yeah, of course. It's been a great experience to date, and we're still very much a unit and a band. I speak with David on a daily basis pretty much, and a lot of that is on the band thread, him just texting with us, kind of like he is on Twitter. It's a lot of humor and just fun and laughs, and but we still have a great connection, and we spent some time together this year, and I'll probably go out at the top of 2024, I think, and work on some things with them, but it's nothing serious yet, nothing that needs to any formal announcements or anything like that, but he's a good friend. David is a great boss and a wonderful person. I get along great with him. We have a great friendship.
And music wise, big adventure for you as a musician, guitarist to experience
Yeah,
a band
absolutely.
like Whitesnake?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of appeal in joining the band for many reasons. I mean, the first of which is obviously working with not only a legend in David Coverdale, but Tommy Aldridge as well. And Red Beach has a phenomenal, career and list of accomplishments. And so, working with all of them, amazing catalog of songs. There's just so many great songs with Whitesnake. And of course, the history of all the players that have been in the band to be a part of that. And I would say really too, a big thing with Whitesnake is that David really tours the world. With Trans-Siberian and Night Ranger, I was playing a lot of the United States. And so it was a great opportunity for me, in many regards. But that was also part of it, was being able to tour Europe more, the UK, Australia, obviously Japan, South America. That was important as well.
Yeah, understandable. All right.
Okay.
What's next?
What is next? AC/DC.
There you go.
Highway to Hell.
Yes. I understood that Angus Young has been the big inspiration for you to start playing the guitar?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my parents started me out on cello and piano when I was very young, and I was just into sports. I wanted to be a pitcher in baseball. That was kind of my dream, and then it was actually Back in Black that got me going. I was, a little bit too young when this came out, but when Back in Black came out and MTV was just starting, saw Angus Young and I went, that's the coolest person I've ever seen in my life. I want to be him. So I went to my parents and asked for a guitar, and I think they were both classical, obviously, and were hoping, maybe Segovia, and then they heard me jamming out, Black Sabbath songs and things like that, and they went, what have we done? So anyway, but yes, Angus definitely was the person that made me want to pick up a guitar. No doubt about it. Yeah.
Where did you get your first guitar then?
At first, I had to prove that I was going to play, and I started on my stepmom's Acoustic, and I played a little bit on there, and I didn't like it at first because I was taking from somebody teaching me out of one of the method books how to read, and I was like, this isn't what I pictured. I want to be Angus Young. I don't want to learn how to read the 3 notes on the high E string. And so I went over to a friend's house and he knew all these rock songs. I was like, where did you learn how to do all this? He was playing the riff from Crazy Train and whatnot. And he said, you got to go to my teacher. He teaches rock songs, So anyway, I switched over to there, and that's when I got an electric, because I switched over there, bought an electric guitar, and then really the rest is history.
Yeah. So what defines for you a good riff and a good solo?
Oh, I mean, that's a matter of opinion. I mean, that depends on something that obviously fits the song. Sometimes, aggressive is called for. Sometimes, being more melodic or being subtle is called for. It all depends on the mood of the music and matching the music. I suppose just playing for the song, of course, is the cliche that everybody says. But, sometimes that means like playing kind of fast and aggressive as well. That doesn't always mean like playing melodic. So, but something that suits the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay. In I go. I hope I'm grabbing it in
Yeah,
the right
you
order
do.
here.
Okay.
All right.
There's this post-it, and it's particular on that page, of course. So on this side, who do we have?
Oh yes. Okay.
Yes, of course.
So we've got Cher with Gene Simmons.
Yes, and it's about Cher, because you have been playing in our live band, so it's a lot of shows. So I was wondering, how is it to tour with such an iconic pop star? Is it any different than being in the rock metal scene? How is that?
Great life experience. That's one of the things I always say, if you just keep an open mind and work hard, sometimes strange things work out in really cool ways. I mean, a great life experience to tour with Cher and work with Cher. It is different than being in a rock band. I mean, you're not on the shirt, you're not on the album. You're not writing for the album. And let's face it, if you're going to see Cher in concert, you're going to see Cher. You're not saying like, hey, I'm going to go see Joel Hoekstra play guitar for Cher. So it is a little bit different than being in a band, but it also is something that was really a great experience for me. Loved all the musicians, great musicians in the band, and made a lot of great friends during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the whole logistic or the way how things are organized, is that also different, you think? Because maybe it's on a larger scale with such an icon, or it doesn't really matter? Do you see the same things?
I mean, there are similarities. I mean, I'd say with Cher, it's more you interact with the music director. There's somebody who's handling the music, because there's also dancers, and you've got this big team of people touring. And with David, Coverdale, he's a little bit more at times just one of the guys and part of the band, and so there's a difference there. Not that she's not a nice person and down to earth, it's just the difference between the dynamics of the two.
Yeah. Why do you think pop stars like to work with rock musicians, particular rock guitarists?
I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I mean, there was a couple times during Turn Back Time and Found Someone, and then where I would step out with her. The rest of the time the band was in the background on a bandstand, and then there was an instrumental that was an excerpt of Bang Bang, and that I kind of it was my job to entertain the crowd a bit while she had a wardrobe change. So I'd step out and shred a little bit and do some 80s moves. And, So I think it fit with the time period. So I think I was a good fit appearance wise, and probably playing style wise for that. And but her music spans a lot of different styles. So thankfully I've been around long enough to have played in a lot of different styles of bands over the years too. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Okay. Album grabbing.
Yes.
Rock of Ages.
Yes, the movie, and you played Rock of Ages on Broadway, so that total experience.
Yeah, very similar to the Cher thing, where it's something that I wouldn't have seen coming. Like when I was 11 years old playing Black Sabbath riffs, I was never thinking someday I'm going to be on Broadway or someday I'm going to play with Cher. But those are things that happen just by having an open mind and working hard. And so a friend of mine in New York he's a pit musician, and he sits in the pit, traditional orchestra style, reads the music, and I started subbing for him. I thought it would be good for me to learn, get back into reading all the music. And so one of the shows that I subbed for him on was a show called Tarzan that Phil Collins wrote the music for. And the keyboard player from that show became the music supervisor, if you can follow this complicated story, for Rock of Ages. So when it came time to form the band for Rock of Ages in New York, he remembered me from Tarzan and said he probably would be cool. And by that point, I had actually joined Night Ranger as well. And so that became like, hey, their song is in the show, and that's going to be great and be a really cool fit. And so, to be honest, I'm much more connected with the Broadway show. The movie was something that only really Konstantin Maroulis and myself got small cameos in the movie, but that was something that I really wanted to be a part of. At the time, I had really wanted to be a part of what was Arsenal, Tom Cruise's band in the movie, and was really hoping to have that, and that was deemed the bigger role. And when they were filming that, I was going to be in Japan with Night Ranger, and I remember being really disappointed because I went, oh man. So they said, well, we got this one other role, this cameo that you can do with this crowd scene, and as it turned out, the Arsenal band was pretty much buried in darkness the entire time in the movie, and I ended up getting a much better deal having the cameo role. So sometimes you get upset over things that turn out to not, be the way you think they're going to be. But I had a great time doing the cameo in the movie. the Broadway show is hard to summarize. I mean, it ran over 6 years, so I had a lot of life experiences with that.
Yeah.
But the movie, you know, the cameo scene, I got to basically hang out all week, or for a few days, I guess it really was, in Miami with Sebastian Bach and Nuno and Kevin Cronin and Debbie Gibson and myself were a part of that scene together. We even did a little impromptu acoustic show for the actors and catering, and got to spend some time with Russell Brand and Catherine Zeta-Jones and Tom Cruise, etc. So
Nice.
you know, it was, great life experience.
Yeah. And what do you think of the end result of the?
I don't like the movie.
No, why not?
It lost like the edge of what the Broadway show was. The Broadway show kind of poked fun at itself the whole time and was a little bit dirtier and a little bit raunchier, and I think they were hoping to get a PG rating on this, so maybe not as dirty, and they rewrote some of the script, and I prefer the Broadway show. The Broadway show was like a really good time, and plus you had a live band on stage the whole time. So if you were a rocker and you weren't there and didn't care about the story end of things, you know, you could watch the band jam the whole time, and then with the movie you don't have that. There's no band to watch. So I still think in the end it's good though, because there's a positive in it that anybody who's a younger kid who watches this movie kind of gets exposed at least to these songs that we grew up on, most likely. I'm guessing at your age, but we probably grew up on the same music. So anyway, there you go.
Yes. All right. Moving on again. Moving on.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not getting old, I'm getting better.
Agree.
I mean, you know, all I can do about that is just kind of like put in the work on a daily basis for myself, and then let life kind of guide me where I'm meant to be. So that's the way I always view things. So I work hard. I mean, I was just playing guitar 5 minutes before we started this upstairs, getting ready for the Siberian Orchestra tour, and obviously we'll go on stage with Brandon in a bit here. For me, getting old sucks, but you know, I'd say it's more important just to like continue to do what you can and like continue to be stable and like put in the work. Yeah.
Good.
So.
Yeah. There you go.
I do think I've gotten better though, even in recent years. Like I hear playing from myself even, you know, 7-8 years ago, and I go, I feel like I have improved since then. So I still feel like I'm improving.
Yeah. So the hard work works.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Okay, so I'm reaching in. Let's see. Am I in the right order here?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, when you look in the mirror and you see the very young Joel Hoekstra.
Reveal!
And you see there the very, very young Joel Hoekstra.
I look terrible for this interview. That's what I think first.
Oh my God. What advice would you give young, little teenager Joel Hoekstra with the knowledge that you have now as a, you know, very experienced guy in life, as a musician, you know? I
say just to have confidence in that and understand that life is about hard work, like success. And so tell myself, just don't worry about anything. Just try to outwork everybody and put in the work, and great things will happen, you know? That's, at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen every day. It's not like this year I'm going to work hard. For me, it's like every day I try to work hard. So, or at least put in, you know, time to move myself forward, you know, both musically and a bit in the business sense as well. That needs to happen. Yeah. Otherwise you're just great in your bedroom or whatever. But that being said, that collapses on you too eventually, because then you need to pay your bills, and if you haven't had the business end of things together, then you go, so I guess I'm screwed now. So but you know, it's important not to overdo that business thing too as well. Some people put too much emphasis on that and not enough on just like the substance of like playing music and like what it is that got us into this. You know, it's, you know, for me, honestly, I didn't set out to be a rock star. I'm the opposite of a lot of the guys you know hear say this in an interview, but for me, I just wanted to be a professional guitar player. That's what I wanted to be, and that was my goal. So anything beyond that, any type of fame or any type of recognition or anything like that is just, a great surprise to me more than anything. But in the end, I just want to be a professional guitar player.
Yeah.
That's what I like to do. So, yeah.
That's how you approach your career.
So I tell myself, practice, damn it. Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Are we done?
Almost.
We got
Almost. There you have.
Monty Python.
Always look the bright side of life. What's your life motto in life? Well, you say hard work, but are you a positive guy? What kind of a guy are you?
So people see a lot on my Instagram when I'll post a solo I've recorded or whatever playing back, that I have a thing from a fortune cookie taped on there that says, work hard and inevitably good things will happen. So it is that, but it's like, but for me, I think it's important that people understand that's a daily thing. Like I don't take days off. So
no vacation.
No days off. There's never a day I don't do something to move myself forward or help. Either that, whether it be just something simple like answering fans online or but it tends to be consistent and constant, and I don't take time off. I really don't take days off a guitar either, for that matter. I mean, I don't just set it down and go, I haven't played in a couple weeks. Like that has never happened. No.
But is it a high maintenance to be Joel Hoekstra? For that matter.
I mean,
in the wide sense, I mean, as a guitarist,
I'm probably high maintenance for everybody around me in my life. They listen to a lot of my ups and downs. I think that most people in life, they go to school, they get their job, and they have their family, and their life is like this. Music is like,
Yeah.
So there's lots of, oh my God, that was the greatest thing ever. And oh my God, my life sucks. Everything's terrible. Oh, everything's so. We're a little bit, I think most artists are that way, or musicians, we tend to be a little bit more up and down. So that's why I always tell myself that work motto, because that helps to kind of even it out and take a little bit of like the pain out of it all,
Yeah.
So, and also it's important not to let the highs get too high, and not, because you kind of lose sight of why you're that, why you're where you're at, So the work thing, that's really what I live by, because that helps kind of even out the roller coaster a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that also keeps you grounded, or is there anything else that keeps you 2 feet on the ground, stay kind of a normal person as well?
I mean, I think I am a normal person. I'm like anybody else, where you have a job that you do, and it just so happens, like I said, that sometimes in music, especially in the rock world, you suddenly get treated like you're king of the world, and then other people, think you're a bum, and you read people who hate you online, and and the person said this and that about me, and then this person says this, and so sometimes it's important just to go, hey, just let's even this thing out, man, and let's just keep working and ride and see where it all goes, But overall, I'm really surprised how far everything went. I did not come from like a really well-to-do family at all. We didn't have any money, and I kind of come from a very modest background of where things like playing in Whitesnake or playing in Siberian Orchestra or playing with Cher, that stuff's not really supposed to happen where I grew up. That's like, if you tell people that, they go, you're crazy, and that's never gonna happen. So I've been really lucky in a lot of ways just to be able to say that. I think I've earned it in a really weird way. I don't think it's like somebody just comes along and hands you stuff. You like everything I have, I can kind of trace back to putting in a lot of time for very little money. It was a lot of like love and effort, and I managed to find like enthusiasm in simple things, I guess, for it all that maybe carried me through a lot of the tougher times, because it took a while for me for things to take off. It wasn't like I was, 20 years old and my career took off. It took all the way really until my 30s for things to go well for me. So, but the whole time it's been guitar. Yeah. Sometimes I've actually read people online. What did you do? What did you used to do? Did you have a different job? It's like, no, I've been doing guitar the whole time. Yeah. Just, I just was unknown until, certain points, where things took off. So, yeah.
Is it also easy to have friendship in this career or being a musician, also outside your work as a musician, that you have friends that also keeps you?
No, I have a really hard time like relating to people that aren't musicians. Most of my friends are musicians, realistically. Yeah. I have a really hard time having conversations with people because they can't. How do you describe what the hell it is, all this stuff, when you try to explain to people, that's not to say I'm like, it sounds contrary to what I said earlier, where I said I'm a normal person. I am a normal person, but I think maybe it's, I don't know, like if you're talking with a stockbroker, if they're supposed to explain and you want to hear all about everything they do, well, that's an awful lot that they got to teach you in 5 minutes. I mean, I think people like the glamour end of the rock thing, they go, oh man, that, it's like, that is, it's amazing when people treat you special but there's also other sides to that, a lot of other sides to it. So, but I feel really lucky in the end that I've been able to do everything that I've been able to do with music, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Last one.
Oh,
I think. Yeah, then we're there.
There we go.
There you go.
Light. Let's see what we got here.
An empty paper.
Empty paper.
So, what are you gonna do in the future? What are you up to? Is there anything to share? A bucket list or?
See, but that's the fun thing, is that you don't know.
You don't know.
It's blank. I mean, I can tell you in the short term. I mean, as soon as I finish this tour, I'm going to go back. I'm going to fly to Los Angeles and film the videos for the Revolution Saints album. And people can expect that next album in 2024. And then I'm going to go to Siberian Orchestra rehearsals and tour with them in the US. And then New Year's Eve, I have a gig with Broadway's Rock of Ages band. The band still goes out and does gigs sometimes. And then when I'm done and home in January, I will record the parts for the next Iconic album. And I have a few gigs with the Rock of Ages band after that. So short term, I can tell you things like that. Yeah. Long term, the way I look at it is you just remain open-minded, you work hard, and you let life kind of take you where you're meant to be.
Yeah.
So that's the fun thing, is that it's blank. So you don't know. I mean, it could be anything.
It's exciting.
But I think it's mainly important just to stay dedicated and consistent and just put in the work. I mean, like the most boring interview ever, right? It's all like work. Just work.
Yes.
But it's true, I think, because like I said, if you would have told me or asked me when I was a kid, I wouldn't have pointed at this and wouldn't have said Rock of Ages or Cher. Right, but those are two really, really cool things that happened. That just staying open-minded and just putting in work and So I think it's important to remain open-minded. That what might be on this could be something that I don't expect, but might be really wonderful.
Yeah. And that makes life exciting.
Yeah, it does. It does. So I think sometimes people, they get too specific about I want to be doing this in 10 years. Well, it's like the life doesn't always work out exactly like you want it to.
Yeah.
But, good things happen if you put in the work. Work.
Yes. Okay, well, thank you very, very much.
All right, thank you.
And thank you guys out there for watching HeadBangers Lifestyle. See you the next time. Ciao.